Man, so many options, so many ideas, so many things I can make a RWBY video off of. But what? What should I make a RWBY video off of? Silver-Eyed Warriors. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land, Jake of the OneManBand is back again, and welcome to another RWBY review, analysis, breakdown video. Now, I know it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I apologize. There's just been so much going on in my life, pretty much since the end of RWBY Volume 3 up to this point. There's just been so much going on. And now is when I finally got some time and I actually felt really inspired that I really wanted to do another video. And so, here I am, coming back to you guys with a video that I think should really be brought up and should really be talked about. And it's a subject that I think is really important. The Silver-Eyed Warriors of Remnant. Now, to be honest, we don't know a lot about these warriors in retrospect to, say, other things that we may know about, such as the Huntsmen in general, or of the Kingdoms. The Silver-Eyed Warriors are a concept, a legend, if you will, in the world of Remnant, passed down to generation to tell young ones about people who were destined to be warriors, destined to fight off the creatures of Grimm, destined to protect people. In these legends, it's stated that they could kill a Grimm, strike a Grimm dead with just a simple look from their eyes. So these people, these warriors, were extremely, extremely powerful. But of course, myths and legends like that have some form of embellishment put into them. So what can we really break down from the myth and legends of the Silver-Eyed Warriors? Well, judging due to the fact that in the legend, it stated that they were destined to be warriors, definitely needs to be brought up. Now, if anything can be shown from RWBY's just expertise on the battlefield, we do in fact know that these people were destined to be killers of the creatures of Grimm. Why do I think this? Well, if we look back to every time RWBY has fought, whenever she fights against Grimm, she is almost flawless in how she does it. She almost never takes any hits, and she's able to kill them with extreme ease and with a sound mind. But on the few occasions where she's fought other humans or faunus, she hasn't done anything close to damage. During her fight with Neo and Roman, she didn't even land any form of hit. Now, that may just be chalked up to the fact that they're just more highly skilled than her. But back in Volume 2, when RWBY tried to fight off the white faunus just grunt, she completely failed at that and was knocked out in one hit. I believe that these Silver-Eyed Warriors had some sort of boost or natural ability to kill the creatures of Grimm. They were their destined true enemy in this world, put into human form. What also needs to be brought up is the concept that they could strike a Grimm dead with one gaze from their eyes. Now, as we know, a Silver-Eyed Warrior, when they're tapped into their inner strength, silver light pours from their eyes and envelops the area. Or at least that's the only thing that we know that can be done due to the small amounts of information that we've seen in Volume 3. And while her gaze doesn't strike any Grimm dead, it freezes the giant dragon Grimm on top of Beacon Tower. So I believe that the gaze doesn't particularly kill Grimm, but it can paralyze them with fear. The creatures of Grimm see that this person is one of the Silver-Eyed Warriors, one of the people that are their sworn enemy, and they just radiate such an awesome power that it scares the Grimm. Now, it's either that it scares the Grimm into a point of petrification, or it can indeed kill Grimm, but when it comes to big alpha Grimm like the dragon, all it could do was paralyze it. Either way, the Silver-Eyed Warriors have hidden power through their eyes, which of course is attached to that they have power inside of their soul, due to the fact that the eye is the mirror, the window to one's soul. So technically, it's not their eyes that have this power, it's their soul, but it is just transferred out into the world through their eyes. Also, I believe that these Silver-Eyed Warriors, their form of power is more archaic, it's older. It's one of the oldest forms of magic in the world of Remnant. And yes, I'm actually saying that the Silver-Eyed Warrior's power is some form of magic. How exactly it is and how exactly it works, I'm not sure. There's not enough information to justify a true idea or a true theory. But I think that this form of power is much older and more powerful than the Seasonal Maiden's power, due to the fact that Cinder, how she reacted to RWBY awakening. By the way Cinder reacted, she did not know what RWBY was capable of. And if she knew about the Silver-Eyed Warriors, knew about their power, she would have known that RWBY might have had that trait. Because Cinder has seen RWBY's eyes before. So she would have known, oh, she has silver eyes. Perhaps she's one of the Silver-Eyed Warriors of legend. But no, Cinder did not know about this. So I don't believe Cinder knew anything about the Silver-Eyed Warriors up until that point. And once she saw that amazing power, she saw something that not only rivaled her own power, but maybe was even stronger than her own power. And there's another fact that I want to bring up in accordance to this whole idea, but I'm gonna bring it up later. Something else really important to know is that it seems that the true power of a Silver-Eyed Warrior needs to be unlocked or unleashed, because RWBY only awoke when, and only when, after she saw Pyrrha die and she was overcome with emotion. Now, perhaps the Silver-Eyed Warrior's power is some form along the lines of going Super Saiyan from Dragon Ball Z, where it was kind of always there. The potential was always there inside of Saiyans, but it wasn't until they got to a point where they needed that power. They truly needed that power in order to overcome whatever obstacle now stood in their way. And now that RWBY has seen another one of her best friends die, she's overcome with emotion, and it is then that her power awakens. But of course, the true properties of the unlocking of her power are still a mystery, because we still do not know a lot about her power. Alright, so really quick, I want to bring up something else. We know that the silver eyes in people is a very rare trait. It is even stated that it is a rare trait. We know of only 2 people who truly share that power: Ruby Rose and Summer Rose, her mother. There are a few more characters in RWBY that have almost silver eyes, that look very, very similar. But do I think they're truly Silver-Eyed Warriors? No, they haven't displayed any of the properties of being a Silver-Eyed Warrior. If anything, I think Ozpin would be probably the closest person, besides RWBY and Summer Rose, who is also a Silver-Eyed Warrior. But, once again, that's still up in the air, because then you would think, why didn't he use that power against Cinder? All this kind of stuff. Blobbity-blue. So the fact that the trait is so rare makes you think, why is it rare? I mean, if there were legends and myths made about these warriors, wouldn't you think that they would have been at least numerous enough for people to take notice that they are more efficient at killing than this other mook over here? That's why I think that the silver-eyed trait wasn't always a rare one. You see, back in the archaic days, back in the very, very way past in Remnant, before the kingdoms, before Huntsman, when the Silver-Eyed Warriors legend and myth was born, Silver Eyes, they weren't so rare. Maybe they were even common. But I would think that warmongers, generals, stuff like that, they would seek out these people and use them in their wars. If you know for certain that this kind of person is going to be better at killing, better at fighting than maybe 10 of your other guys, you're gonna go with that one. Because that's more cost efficient, of course. So I think through killing Grimm, being used in wars, and maybe even being hunted out by other people who were jealous of their power, the Silver-Eyed Warriors, the Silver-Eyed trait, slowly died down throughout the ages until it became an extremely rare trait. But hey, those are just my ideas. Now, of course, I can spout all I can about the facts that we do know about Silver-Eyed Warriors and the theories that I may have about Silver-Eyed Warriors. But the real concept lies. What is the deal with silver? Why is it that silver is such a prominent color in RWBY? Well, maybe it's because silver has such an important role in our own history, our own myths, our own legends. Now, of course, instantly everybody's gonna go for the obvious choice. Silver is a weapon that can be used to kill vampires, or silver is the kind of metal that you need to use to kill a werewolf. To which I say, yes, very commendable. Through those legends, through those myths and tales, silver remained a very important metal, a very important element to be used in a fight against evil. And you see, that is exactly why silver was used. Way back in the day, silver was stated to be a metal that could ward off, destroy, and protect good against evil. So essentially, silver was evil's bane. And in the world of Remnant, the Silver-Eyed Warriors seem to be the bane of the creatures of Grimm, who seem to be the embodiment of evil. Now, this may be going a little too crazy, but also in our history, silver has been associated with the moon. And the moon has always kind of been associated with femininity and women. So it would make sense that maybe a majority of these Silver-Eyed Warriors were women. And the only two that we know about are, of course, women. But there's also that idea that silver is connected to the moon. So is it possible that the Silver-Eyed Warriors share some connection to the moon in Remnant? Did the breakup of the moon, was that because of them? Did they come from the breakup in the moon? I mean, there's a bunch of theories that are probably going to be popping up now, but I do in fact believe that something about that moon is somehow connected to the Silver-Eyed Warriors in some way. Also, let it be known that although silver was a very important metal back in the day, and still is, gold was also a very important metal color back in the day, and it is still today, very much so. But you see, gold and silver, not only were they put up on high pedestals next to each other, they were also considered as contrasts to each other. While silver represented the moon and femininity, the gold represented the sun and masculinity. And you see, another piece of symbolism comes into play into the world of Remnant. Silver is associated with the Silver-Eyed Warriors, people who fight for what's right, fight for good, fight against evil. While gold is actually associated with the seasonal maidens. If you look at the aura of the power that generates from a seasonal maiden's eyes when she is in full Seasonal Maidens mode. It is the color of gold. So that makes me believe that the Silver-Eyed Warriors and the Seasonal Maidens are kind of on equal playing field on Realms of Power. How the power is distributed amongst the two, I'm not entirely sure, but I definitely think that the fact that the Seasonal Maidens radiate gold and the Silver-Eyed Warriors radiate silver is very important. And let me tell you, there's dozens of reasons more why silver is such an important color, not only in our history and myths and legends, but also how it translates into the world of Remnant. Let it just be known that the color silver is very important. And now, I'm gonna be looking out for the color silver even more. I mean, when you have two such strong warriors, both Ruby and Summer Rose, you can't help but think, what did Destiny have in store for them? What's in store for Ruby? But even more, what happened to Summer? What indeed happened to Summer, who was a silver-eyed warrior, who was somebody who was efficient at killing the creatures of Grimm? How was she taken down? Well, let's just say, that's a story for another video. Hey there everybody, I just want to say, hey, thanks for watching this video. I know it took me a long time to finally get to it, but hey, I'm finally back on the kick, so you're going to be getting RWBY videos like this every week or two. And really quick, I just want to make sure that you guys check out Team Theory over there on Facebook if you want to talk to other crackpot theorists such as yourself. And hey, check out my Patreon page if you want to try to support me that way. And big thanks to Duncan Ishler, Grant Allen Hill, and Kyle Schultz for being big Patreon supporters of me. You guys are awesome, and I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me, even though I kind of went dark there for a little bit. And remember, if you guys have any awesome crackpot theories or anything along those lines, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And like and favorite if you've enjoyed, subscribe of course if you feel inclined to, be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward, and I'll see you guys next time I'm out there in YouTube land. I'll see you then. Yeah!